Hi everyone, my name is Karen Lopez, your news reporter. Today I am with Ada and Andrea. They have launched a really important podcast today, and so what is your podcast about?
So our podcast is called Se Ve Se Escucha. It's a language justice podcast about interpretation, about being bilingual, about living in Asheville, about movement work. Yeah.
And do you have anything to say?
I think I described it good.
And so what is your purpose for this podcast? What is your mission?
I guess we're trying to continue this conversation. We've been doing language justice work for a long time and interpreter training for a long time. And so this podcast gives us a new way to kind of keep the conversations going in this new platform.
What is your audience? What audience are you aiming to reach?
Everyone.
Everybody.
I think we want to reach people in this community in Western North Carolina, but also around the country. People who work as interpreters, people who work as community organizers, cultural organizers, people who are bilingual and are figuring out how to use being bilingual to connect to community work, kind of everybody who has a relationship to language and language justice, which is everybody.
And so your podcast, how can people reach out to listen to your podcast?
So people can go to our website, which is sevesescucha.com. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. And we just launched today, so our first episode was launched today, and we'll be putting out an episode every week for the next 6 weeks.
Okay. And again, what's the exact name or title of your podcast so that people can find you?
Se Ve Se Escucha.
And how do you spell that?
S-E space V-E space S-E space E-S-C-U-C-H-A. Did I pass the test?
I think
Spelling
so.
test? Okay.
And so what does this title mean? What does it mean?
I translate it as seen and heard, and the reason that we wanted to call it Se Ve Se Escucha is because we feel that many times language justice, people think about interpretation, and so people hear the interpretation, but we think that language justice work should also be seen. So it's not just about like these invisible interpreters who are back here whispering in your ear. It's about the work that you're doing in the community. Entonces por eso le queríamos poner Se Ve Se Escucha. And then that's also kind of like a chant that you would hear in a march, you know, Se Ve Se Escucha, el pueblo está en la lucha. So that's what we're playing with the title.
And what inspires you to do this, to have this podcast on air?
We like to talk to each other. I think the idea for the podcast came, we had printed a curriculum, and like 30 seconds after the curriculum was printed, we were like, oh, something else that should have been in the curriculum. And so we wanted to experiment with like a different medium to be able to share conversations and lessons learned. And then I think, we were inspired to do a podcast about language justice because so many people took the time to teach us and train us and support us to become interpreters and language justice workers. And we didn't want to kind of just like hold that and keep it, but really find a way to share that out and feel like that's what we kind of owe as thanks to the people that invested in us too.
Well, do you have any other words to say to the audience that are listening to us right now and watching us?
Follow, like, share, subscribe, and thank you all for having us.
Thank you. And if anyone, if people are interested in becoming involved with this podcast, how can they reach you?
That's a good question. I don't know if we said we work for an organization called the Center for Participatory Change, CPC, and we're doing this podcast as part of our work with CPC, which helps find us because the organization has contact information.
Exactly.
So everyone, this is all for today. Thank you again, Ada and Andrea, for this podcast that you're launching. Everyone, don't forget to follow them, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.